Good evening and welcome to this week's episode of the Irish Arts Show, brought to you from the Scientology Community Centre here in Dublin.
And it's great to be back. We've got an exciting show lined up for you tonight.
Yes, our team tonight is creative success over adversity, no matter the odds. And to illustrate, we have two guests on the show, Ciaràn Moran and Pat Slattery, who both have risen toward the top of their respective games. 2017 was when it officially started for inner city singer-songwriter Ciaràn Moran as a solo artist and performer. The Moran family were no strangers to the Irish music scene, and Ciarán started his musical career at just 13 years of age. He was tutored and guided by the creative minds of Colin Queerney and Christy Moore as he was finding his musical feet. He's performed in the Olympia Theatre, Vicar Street, the Academy Main Stage and Electric Picnic, Body and Soul, and that's just to name but a few. 2018 saw the release of a single, Mother, dealing with the harrowing subject of domestic violence, and Ciarán was invited to perform the song at several refugee centres around the country, along with an intimate performance for Irish President Michael D. Higgins. Ciarán has since released more tracks and he's here to play for us now. Folks, will you please welcome Ciarán Moran.
Cause I'm wondering if you're sleeping, or if you're even breathing. And have you figured out why you planned on leaving? I never knew just how you were feeling. When I walk down the road and it's cold outside, there's another helpless soul, teary-eyed, and I realize and I know that you're there after all you've done, even though sometimes I was in the wrong, but you're gone. Did you follow your soul, follow your leader, do what you dreamed of? Looking down on all those who are around you, all those who you want to. You know it's not my choice, I can tell you what to do, cause you left us all too soon. When your little one cries, she shouts and roars, Daddy's gonna come with your toys, but she knows. And she sits here waiting for the doorbell ring, waiting for you to come walking in. She knows. Did you follow your soul, follow your leader, do what you dreamed of? Hello, I'm Ciaràn Moran, and I'm joined by my great friend Alessandro, and I'm playing a couple of songs today. That song was called Follow Your Soul, and I'm going to play some new songs and some covers as well. This song is a song called Life in Our City, and it's my latest single off an EP. I hope you enjoy it.
Try to sleep. There'd be kids who'd use another route to school in case the needles cut their feet. And that's a normal observation, and we'd see that every day. We'd never judge one for their downfall, we just learn from their mistakes. Some are wiser than those wealthy, some would even change their ways, some would pass before their 20s. Life is hard. There'll be times you must let pass when you live in a city. And the flats was where you'd feel a real sense of community. When one would fail, they would all set sail and they'd bring you to your feet. And your mother took your side even after you had lied. A flame ignites and you apologize and your mother's satisfied. And if you heard our conversation, we wouldn't speak about our pride, we wouldn't talk of education, cause we were streetwise qualified. And education soon to move on, with the new kids just behind, and the soil that we were raised on will remain inside our mind. Life is hard. There'll be times you must let pass when you live in a city. Time it shows I miss there every day. As life goes on, this city will never change. Stand up for nowhere left to go. The only thing you know, life in our city.
The next song I'm going to play is another song taken from that EP, and it's called Devil. It's one of my favourite songs off of the EP, and yeah, I hope people enjoy it.
From the needle marks while his veins had disappeared. His face was pale as all his blood was drained from the poison in the bar. And when he went to jail, he tried to change his ways, cause that's all his dad would ask. He smashed his prison cell and he begged for help. Stone cold sober could never last. I used to know you so much better than you know yourself, but joy gains, finally free but still he's chained. And as the taxiway his wheel disintegrates, destinations never change. And his junkie mates won't relieve his pain, they're not there to give but take. And now his damaged goods, he's no good for love, now that Satan's on his case. I used to know you so much better than you know yourself, but since these demons came around, he's been dragging you to hell. The devil knocks round for him, he always lets him in for another sin. Shake you like a tambourine when the devil knocks round for him, always lets him in. 'Cause he shake you like a tambourine. Lord knows my coffee's gone cold as I sit here waiting for him to speak. It's a long road to walk, a million miles, but knowing you won't be home to me. And the devil knocks round for him, he always lets him in for another sin. When the devil knocks round for him. The next song I'm going to play is a cover, and I don't usually do covers too much, but this song is a song I really enjoy playing, and yeah, it's a song by an Irish artist called Gilbert O'Sullivan, and it's a version of Nothing Rhymed. If I give up the seed I've been saving to some elderly lady or mine, am I being a good boy? Am I your pride and joy? Mother, please, if you think, say I am. And then while in the course of my duty I perform an unfortunate, punish me so unbelievably so. Never again will I make that mistake. This feeling inside me could never deny me the right to be wrong by you. This pleasure I get from saving in a bed is to lose. My bowl of candy, eating more than enough apple pie. Will I glance at my screen and see real human beings starve to death right in front of my eyes? Nothing old, nothing new, nothing ventured, nothing gained, nothing stillborn or lost. Further than proof, nothing wilder than you, nothing older than time, nothing sweeter than wine, nothing physically, recklessly, hopelessly blind, nothing I couldn't say, nothing why, 'cause today, nothing right. This feeling inside me could never deny me right to be wrong. I choose this pleasure I get from saying winning a bet is to lose. The last song I'm going to play is one of the early releases that I put out, and it's a song called Mother. And it's one I enjoy playing and enjoy singing, and yeah, thanks for listening as well.
You'd hold you by the hand in front of everyone. He'd make you say there was nothing going on. He would beat you up and down when there was nobody. He'd help you from the ground when you were down. He would say, go get your father or your brother. By the time he came, he was nowhere to be found. How dare you put your hands on my mother? You're a man, no man's land. So mother, just stop your crying for one more day. I'll say my prayers and it'll go away. So mother, just stop your crying for one more day. I'll say my prayers and it'll go away. He would make you hide your scars with your makeup. As the tears would fall, he would see you start to blue. As he hit you in the arms to make you wake up. Inside his mind was more than confused. He would run out of her garden and call the neighbors. You'd see their curtains close before he's done. He made statements, lies, and he told all of the papers he done nothing wrong. You were number one. So mother, just stop your crying for one more day. I'll say my prayers and it'll go away. So mother, just stop your crying for one more day. I'll say my prayers and it'll go away. Mother, just stop your crying for one more day. I'll say my prayers and it'll go away. Mother, just stop your crying for one more day.
Thank you.
Well, how about that, Stephen? I have to say, for me, listening to him there, I loved the emotion of his falsetto voice.
Yeah, definitely. And just putting all the feeling, energy in it. You can see even just the way he's playing the guitar. I'm delighted to have this guy on the show. It's
So am
brilliant.
I. I can't wait to hear.
I'm looking forward to hear what he has to say for himself. I know he said he's not nervous about going on stage, but he said about doing the interview part he's not sure about, but I think it'll be grand.
He's going to be great.
Great.
You're very welcome, Ciarán. How are you?
Very good, very good. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
You're great.
Thank you for coming on the show, yeah.
No problem at all.
Yeah,
Sometimes when I come off the stage, I'm a little bit like the emotions go into the song, so you're a little bit, your mind just be all over the place, kind of, you know. But yeah, thank you. I enjoyed it.
Great songwriting, I have to say, I really enjoyed it. It's great to have you here for the interview. So I'd like to welcome you to the show.
Thank you.
And obviously Alessandro as well, who is playing guitar with you
Yeah.
there as well. From all of us. So I see you're a singer-songwriter from the inner city. But it seems that you started around 2017, where it all kind of kicked off for you. But can I take you back to when you were 13 years of age and you were actually writing songs with Christy Moore? I mean, how does that happen?
So I would have gone to where I grew up in town, in Dublin town. I would have gone to a youth centre they started off kind of doing songwriting classes, and it was one of these things where like everyone would do it at the start, and then it kind of faded out, and there'd be 2 or 3 left in the class, you know. And I got the opportunity. I was asked down to Roddy Doyle's workshop called Fighting Words, and Christy Moore was mentoring it, and I got to do that, and it was an amazing experience, you know. Something at the time I didn't realise how big Christy Moore was. I knew obviously the likings of Ride On and the usual kind of songs that you know, but I didn't realise how great he was, and I didn't realise there was a lot I learned about songwriting, and that it's not just kind of writing a story, so to speak. He showed me some good things that I still keep, you know.
What a great start.
Yeah.
You started gone deep into it then, studying and the whole lot about with your music then as well as just being tutored that way. Tell us a bit about.
Yeah, so I never really studied with theory, but I would have, like, I've always played music. So after 13, I would have I started singing at the time, and I was always kind of like, I lost confidence to sing, because at the time you would have the likings of Justin Bieber's out, and like the cool image kids, you know, and then there was me that was writing songs about my neighbour 2 doors down, and like completely different types of songs, you know. So I lost the confidence to sing, and I started joining bands, and I learned a lot from, like, I would have been a backing vocalist in a band, and I was just too afraid to sing basically at the time. And I think it was after being in the band, I came back going to 2017, I found my feet again, and I kind of learned that you can use your own accent. And I thought with writing songs, like, no one can tell you they're wrong because they're your songs, you know. So if I was singing covers, people could say that's bad, or they don't like it. But when it's your song, they can't say it's the wrong lyrics you're singing, or the wrong way of singing it, you know. So that was something that always stuck with me to kind of get back into it.
About Justin Bieber having a cool image. I think you have a cool image yourself, and when I seen the footage of you playing on Vicar Street, it was pretty cool.
When I was 13, I would have, like, when you heard the likings of Justin Bieber's, and I know that was so distant away, but when you heard the likings of Justin Bieber's voice and things like that, my voice was, I still don't think it's the strongest thing that I'd have. I'd class myself as more of a lyrics person, but back then, like, that kind of stuff, when you're seeing that on the telly, like, you feel like you have no hope, if that makes sense, you know. Not no hope, but more kind of like, when you look at that, you're not even close to that, you know. So it wouldn't have been only him, but there would have been kids around that you would have heard and that were just fantastic, like, unbelievable, and you were going out and kind of singing a song about, like, drugs or something like that, you know. And just, it was a different kind of thing, and I just always, after that, I kind of lost confidence, and yeah, I'm glad I kind of found it again, if that makes sense, you know.
No, absolutely.
I think you've just got to remember that all our voices are individual, and your voice is certainly individual and is very well respected. I mean, obviously you're getting fabulous validation from the likes of Damien Dempsey, Aslan, Bagatelle, Brian Kennedy, and many more. So they're not obviously allowing you to come on their show without thinking your voice is strong enough. And as definitely your falsetto voice is beautiful. It's very soft and gentle and very emotional. So.
Yeah, I don't usually use it too much. If you notice, it's usually only little parts of songs,
actually,
you know.
Yeah.
But
you do it more.
Yeah, I'm learning. I'm still kind of learning and learning. I'm finding my voice still, if that makes sense. So I'd be with the falsetto, I would kind of be a little bit standoffy with it, because I remember years ago someone said to me, "You sound a bit like a cat when you do it," you know. So I kind of I'd be a little bit more kind of don't do it. But now I'm starting to find it again and try finding ways to use it and that, you know. And again, with my own songs, no one can say to me that's good or bad, because I know I would have written them in a way, you know.
And what about touring with all of those guys?
Amazing. Probably the best experiences I've had. I learned so much. Christy Dignam, Aslan, Damien Dempsey, they gave me so many opportunities to go around different parts of the country, and you know, I'd go out and I'd have great shows where some of them would be seated and you'd have a great gig and that, but I always kind of learned more from the shows that I didn't. And I know that's a cliche thing you're saying, but if a show didn't go so well for me, I'd learn a lot more from that, and I'd learn this song doesn't work, or this sound, it was too slow for that kind of set, or that kind of event. So yeah, the touring was amazing. Like, it opened my eyes a lot. There's a lot of things I've learned from it, and
How did you end up doing that? Like you were touring with the guys, or you were just supporting them?
I was supporting
them?
yeah, so I would have been offered support.
Have you got a manager, or are you doing it yourself?
I do have a manager now,
okay.
yeah, but at the time I wouldn't have. So I would have sent music on to Aslan, Joe Joella of Aslan. I think I sent it on to him first, and he enjoyed the song that I had and offered me to do. The first gig that they actually offered me to do was Vicar Street.
Wow,
and
that's cool.
then Damien Dempsey, one of the first gigs I done in 2017. The first ever gig I done when I was 13 would have been in Whelan's opening for Damien Dempsey. And when I came back to do solo music, the first gig I ever done was in Donegal with Damien Dempsey as well. And I was terrified because I was only kind of coming back from the lack of confidence thing, so to speak, you know. But yeah, amazing experiences. And I think just meeting people that are amazing and people that are, they don't have the right, but they have that thing where they could be, like they could be a little bit stubborn or something like that, and they're not, you know. And I've met some amazing people over, and good people that I can send music on to and ask them for advice or criticism or what do they think with projects I'm working on, you know.
There's music in the family as well, is that right? Is your brother playing?
Yeah, my brother Keith. Yeah, my brother Keith was in a band years ago called No Angels, and No Angels DC, and they were really successful in Ireland. They had a single in the Irish charts at number 4, and they toured and they supported Meatloaf, and they would have done the Point Depot with Aslan years ago as well. So
right.
they had great experiences, you know.
Has that connection kind of helped you when you were starting them?
Yeah, it did. It definitely helped me. I kind of look up to him a lot in terms of in terms of music and that. But the music world today is very different to the world to when it was back then. Like back then there was no social media, or there wouldn't have been not no social media, but there wouldn't have been as much. Like it was more CDs and like word of mouth. Whereas now it's all kind of TikTok and Instagram and the usual kind of stuff, you know. But yeah, he's a great he's great for guiding me and kind of telling me what's right and what's wrong. He's a great songwriter and singer as well, and he's still doing his own thing today as well, which is great.
Do you
know?
sing any of your brother's songs?
No, we'd sing together a lot though. We'd write a lot together.
Cool,
in the house we'd write a lot of songs together and we'd sing, and I played in a band with him for a couple of years as well. And yeah, he's great. He's really, again, he's an inspiration to me. He was as a kid as well. When I was growing up, that's how I kind of fell into wanting to play guitar. I used to have this cherry red Fender that I seen in the room years ago. Just a weird thing. I don't know why it is, but I remember seeing it, and it was something I used to kind of rub my fingers across, like, and I know that sounds like something you'd heard on the X Factor, but it's the God honest truth. And yeah, when I was a kid, I used to go to see him gigging. They'd be doing festivals in the parks and all that, you know, and just great things to see, you know, as a kid. And I always thought that's what I want to do, or that's something that I'd enjoy doing, you know.
Yeah.
Tell us about your single Mother song, because that obviously led you to meet the President of Ireland.
Yeah, so Mother was a song I wrote. I would have written probably around one of the 4 songs that I wrote, and I remember I was in a bedroom, and I remember seeing a story on the newspaper about a young girl that was beat by her parent, and I think he got sentenced and things like that, you know. And I got this vision of a young boy lying in a bed with a pillow over his head. I don't know whether this sounds a bit weird, but he had a pillow over his head, and his mate and dad were fighting downstairs, and I just wrote a song around that, you know. And the story of the song, I know people that would have obviously experienced and gone through domestic violence and that, and yeah, that song kind of took me, that was the one that kind of took me to better places, so to speak. And I got to go around several refuge centres in Ireland and meet some amazing people, you know. And the president, it was great meeting him, but it was as important meeting the people that were there, because the stories that he had to tell and told were, I thought the song was a deep song, and the stories that I heard were worse than what I had. So it's yeah, I suppose so. And it was a little bit intimidating playing a song about something that people are in these places for, you know. But the Refuge
shows how much your song relates to people, though. That's
yeah. I think people kind of they could nearly see, see the story happen in front of you.
Even the imagery there of you just talking about it there, like, you know.
But great experience. And the refuge centres, I do keep in touch with some of them, and they'd be very supportive of me, of what I'm doing, whether it's songs about domestic violence or other projects, you know. And do often keep in touch through social media and that as well, you know. And
tell us about in 2019 your debut headline show.
Yeah, so the first ever show I done was a show in the Underground. Terrified, afraid I wouldn't sell any tickets, and I was going to go into a room and there'd be mad there and the barman and the sound man, you know. And we got a full crowd, full enough crowd at that time. And then I stopped doing headlines. I'd done a couple of tours and support tours, you know.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from that, and I was always afraid to talk on stage and things like that, you know, so started going around open mics and trying to find my feet with talking and learn what way to interact with crowds and audiences.
It's true, it's a different thing. Like, it's one thing just singing a song, and the other thing that actually giving an introduction to the song.
Yeah, it's very intimidating, because I think I used to do this thing that I thought I'd have to write notes down on what this song is about, or what a certain part of the song is about, and the topic of the song, and I just stopped doing all of that and just kind of free hands done it on my head, kind of, and just I don't really.
I think it helps when you're building up a song, though, if you are introducing what it's about. Like, imagine you telling your story about like the mother song and how it's going to relate to people, and they're going to listen to it.
Of course, yeah. So I'd obviously introduce and kind of give an idea as to what the song's about, but I used to think you have to have pinpoints or notes, like bullet points on the ground, just to remember and things like that, and it tripped me up if I was doing it, you know, when I was
so just natural.
when I was doing. So now I just kind of go out and do it, and sometimes I'd be blabbering on for a bit and things like that, you know, but you'd hear someone saying shut up and then you just go into the song, you know. So get used to it, you know.
I love that you say that your songs are kind of, your music is for forgotten souls, and what I liked about this, that we actually said, is people who are trying to survive. It's for those who have nothing but have it all.
Yeah.
And that's for sure. That's so true.
Yeah, you know what? I heard that saying. We had nothing, but we had it all before, and I just thought of, like, my family. We wouldn't have been like rich or anything like that. We were from a council estate in town, and we were just ordinary, but we had everything. You know, we were the happiest people, and we still are, and we're like very proud of where we're from and what we do, and I think, for the room, when we're in a room playing a show and there's 100 or 200 or 300 people there, and there's people that can come into the gigs and they don't feel like they're judged, they don't feel like they just feel like they can come in and do what they want, you know, and enjoy themselves. And the people that don't feel involved in things, you know, there's a lot of times, like, I'd see events on, and you know, events where you just don't feel like that's not my kind of place to go, you know. And I wanted to try and have a space where people can come in no matter where you're from, and come in and just enjoy yourself, and it's their night as much as it is mine, you know. I get a buzz off seeing their faces having a buzz, like having a smile or a cry or whatever it is, and I think people are starting to notice that as well, that they can come into the shows. The last 2 shows I've done would have been Whelan's upstairs and the Academy 2, and we sold them out, which was amazing, you know. And the people that came in, you can just see it in them that they're kind of, do you know that this is a kind of like a free space, come in and do what you want, and you know, no one's gonna, we're all the same, kind of, you know. There's no one here that's better or worse, you know.
Ciarán, we're just running out of time there. It goes so quick. It's unbelievable. It's brilliant. But I just wanted to get in there, because in Hot Press magazine of your latest single, Falling Down, Stuart Clark quoted, "He pens a mean chorus which is attracting rapidly increasing amounts of airplay." We're definitely going to hear a lot more of Ciarán Moran. What's next for you, Ciarán?
So I have my biggest headline show to date coming up on the 12th of May in Whelan's main room. So I'm doing that on the 12th of May, and I'll be going over to the UK to play London again. I done my 4th show in London last year, and I'll be going over in June to London, and then hopefully an Irish tour at the end of the year. And I have a new single coming out. There's loads happening.
Brilliant.
There's a lot.
Have you got a website, or are you just using social media?
I had got a website. I use social media. I'll update the website. It's probably from 2017, you know. But social media, Instagram and Facebook.
It's just Ciarán Moran or Ciarán Music?
Ciarán Moran Music.
Okay.
But you'll find me somewhere anyway. It'll be somewhere across the line. You'll come across it.
There they know.
Well, may you have continued success.
Thank you very much.
You will
Thanks for having me as well.
It's only the start, I think, for you.
Yeah, please
It's been a great start so far.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Ciarán,
Thanks,
delighted.
thank you.
Really, thank you very much
Thanks
for
a lot.
coming on
Thank
the
you.
show.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Folks, our next guest has also triumphed over adversity, but in a different way. He is Pat Slattery, and he's been described as having one of the greatest minds in the world of personal and professional growth. Leaving school at 14, he began working in the hotel industry, and at 15 in the security industry. By having an incredibly positive attitude and outstanding work ethic, along with his determination to give 100% to everything he does, Pat went on to build his security business to a point where it turned over 25 million. And he has successfully brought other companies to the level where they have generated millions. Mark Victor Hansen, co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, said about him, "Pat's information is going to turn your economy right side up. You're going to thank me in your prayers for recommending him." Now, let's meet the man himself, Pat Slattery.
How are you, Pat?
I'm absolutely outstanding, AJ. It's an honour to be here. Thank you.
We are delighted to have you here. I've been really looking forward to this interview, and obviously you're normally on the other side yourself interviewing other people, but so we're delighted to have you here.
You need to know the secrets.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'd like to start the interview off with, life is an occasion, rise up to it, because they're words that you use a lot.
Yeah, well, actually, that came from a wonderful movie called Mr. Megorium's Wander Emporium, where Gene Wilder turned to a lady who was running the store and she was worried about everything going wrong. And he just said, listen, life is an occasion, rise up to it. And that's the attitude, I guess, I take into everything I do, especially when it comes to business, because people can get stuck in the nit and gritty, not understanding it's an occasion, right? We've only got one chance here, so we got to rise up to it.
So when you heard that, obviously there was a good feeling for that.
Oh, absolutely. It was one of those light bulb moments that went off, and I thought, yeah, that's exactly what it's all about, right? It's an occasion. So you got to live every day like it's an occasion and enjoy every moment of it, because business is not meant to be difficult. Business is not meant to be hard. It's not meant to be as challenging as people expect it to be. It's an occasion. Rise up to it.
Were you educating yourself on how to build a business, or were you studying it, or to be successful as it became?
Honestly, no. Because it's funny when we say that. My education came from the people that I was surrounded by, and maybe the environment I came from also. But when we look at our education, for me, it was about getting up every single day and showing up. Showing up and being the best it could be. You know, it's just something I took from my dad from day one. He always said, you know what, go out there and just be the best you can be. And nothing else can be expected of you then, right? Yeah. Other than be the best you can be. And through that journey, my business started to grow. I had a lot of people approach me asking me to come working for them. I mean, my business grew by people coming looking for me to come working for them rather than the other way around. So I wasn't never selling, if that makes sense. But I was showing up every single day, being given 100% of me, knowing that every day I'm going to be here. I'm going to, you know, nobody can be a better me than me. Oh. Right, so I got to show up and be the best I can be, and as a result of that, opportunity keeps coming. So when we talk about the laws of attraction and the secret, as people talk about, it's really about what you're doing. It's what you're doing every single day. It's how you're showing up, how you're actually giving the best to you, to everything that you do. And as a result of that, of course, I had to start learning then. For me, what am I doing that's working here? I started to become successful. Then I started thinking, wow, how did this happen to somebody like me leaving school at 14? So I decided, let me document and journal all the things that I'm doing that are working, and then do them on purpose. That was kind of my journey for business, if that makes sense.
That was answering my next question almost, like, you know, how did you even know when it was becoming successful? Like, you know, did you know it was becoming successful when the money was rolling in, or did you know it was becoming successful when things were just starting to expand?
Well, actually, it took me a long time to realize I was successful, because I was just getting on and doing what I needed to do. And I guess you know you're successful because people tell you when you're not.
That's very true, yeah. If you're doing it wrong, you'll be told.
If you're doing it wrong, you know. But, you know, and again, for me, it was the journey. It was enjoying every moment. And initially when I set up my business and I started taking on these contracts that were given to me, was simply because I could give my mates some work. And I could hire some of my friends. I could find work for those guys, and that was something I was very passionate about. And it felt great, and it felt really good. It was wonderful. I was getting rewarded financially for it also.
Yeah.
But the finances came after the fact, you know. And when we understand that, you know, then there was a point where I started chasing the money, thinking, okay, I can build a business, build the money. But I know for sure the money only comes after you do certain things in a certain way. So you got to show up with integrity. You got to show up with good intent all of the time. And again, going back to being that best you can be, and then surrounding yourself with the right people too. And as a result, your business will grow. It's inevitable. We just got to be able to turn off the thoughts sometimes, and usually the old programs that people are given that are, you know, people like us, because where I come from the wrong side of town. I was so young when I started. I had no money. All these things that people usually are conditioned to believe to be the truth are really not. It's just you gotta change that program sometimes, whatever's running upstairs, and say, if I show up and be the best I can be with good intention, then it's okay to get paid exceptionally well for what you do exceptionally well, right?
Yeah.
You know.
What attracted you most to the motivational business industry?
I think it was a natural thing for me. When I look back, you know, we mentioned Mark Victor Hansen here earlier, and something he said to me quite a while back. He said, Paddy, you know, he said, you have something, he said, that could take me 20 years to learn from a book. He said, you have a gift of knowing. And that to me was a bit strange, but I've learned to accept that I know certain things that I haven't been taught before, right? I tend to know how to find a solution for something. So it was something I was doing naturally from very, very young, I guess. And when I was introduced to the industry and I heard all these speakers and read these books, I thought, these guys are just writing my story. And it just felt natural. And I absolutely love it. I love when I know I've said something and I can see in somebody's eyes that something I just said has triggered something that creates a change in them for the better, that they can go out there and believe in themselves a little bit more. And when you find that, that passion just starts to grow, you know, and it's almost impossible to stop.
Are you mentoring businesses how to be more successful or how to be successful? Like, are you teaching them how to sell or like?
Yeah, well, a little bit of everything, right? Because when we talk about selling, for me, when people teach people how to sell, they're really teaching them how, from a motivation of a seller. Where for me, it's never about the seller, it's about the buyer. You have to find a motivation for the buyer. Yeah. What are you bringing to them? What are you offering here? What solution are you providing? What problem can you solve? And that's what I get people to focus on. So yes, I meet people who are starting. I've met some people who know they want to get into business, but have no idea what it is they want to do yet. So we dig a little bit into their passion and we start thinking about what, the things they don't want first. Let's get rid of that. And then find and discover a little bit more about them, about their personality and what they stand for. And then we say, how can we translate that into your business? How can we create something around that can actually help you create an income and help you create a lifestyle? Because business is about lifestyle. It's not about killing yourself on the treadmill. Yeah. It's about creating a lifestyle,
What or who has been your influence in business?
On business, I've had lots. A lot of people I'm influenced by are my clients, the people I meet on a day-to-day basis. But if I had to go back and think about who I learned most from, would have been Brian Tracy. I'm grateful to call Brian a friend today. Brian has written over 90 books.
You've met a lot of these people, actually.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, again, as I said, we're now friends. We speak on a regular enough basis. We've done lots of seminars together. We've done webinars together. But he just has a natural ability to make sense of things. He takes there's no complication, right? Sometimes I'm kind of a simple guy. So I have to say, I need to dumb it down for me so it's doable. Brian Tracy is the master at that. He dumbs it down and makes it doable.
You've partnered with several different businesses as well. How do you get the time to do, because you seem to be doing a lot with obviously making something successful is going to take a lot of time, but to be able to do your own thing and help the other businesses as well. So that means you're probably spending a lot of time going to meetings and taking your focus away from your own business as well. Would I be right in saying so?
Actually, the opposite, believe it or not, because everything I do, my time is spent in my business. I'm very conscious of time and I don't waste it. When we talk about time management, you see, people think we need time management. And the reality is there's 24 hours in a day, 168 hours in a week. That changes for nobody, right? So if we were to understand that, is it next year we have a leap year, right? So you're going to have an extra 24 hours. What do you plan to do with it? If time is the issue.
Get married,
right? Get married, right? But you're probably going to do the same stuff you do every day, right? For most people. Yeah. So it's not about time management. It's about managing what we do within the time that we have. So what I focus on is the highest and best use of time. So I again, for me, when I work with people, I don't do sales meetings, right? So what I do is I do seminars. If people can come to my seminars, I will give a lot of really good content, and then people can make an informed decision. They choose whether they want to be my client or not. I don't pitch at them. So if I can give enough content, enough value, then people will make that decision. So I teach people how to do as I do. And I love my life, by the way, and I have a lot of time. I enjoy a lot of time with my family. And I'm grateful that I have a business that allows me to do that. But that was by choice. It didn't happen by accident. So we have to learn how to say no sometimes too. And I think that's one of the biggest lessons that most people in business have to learn, is how to say no.
What's the advice you would give to someone starting out in business?
Starting out in business, number one is be patiently persistent, and then be consistent with your message. And then don't compete with anybody. Just be the best you can be. There is no such thing as competition, only as you see it. Mm-hmm. And if you go out there and you know that you're going to deliver with exceptional intent to be the best you can be, then just keep doing it. Keep showing up. Keep showing up. Understand that there will be obstacles, there will be challenges. But remember, you're mastering your destiny. Okay? And people say, oh, things keep getting in the way. But when you're mastering your destiny, you will notice that nothing is in the way, everything is on the way.
I love that. Nothing's in the way, it's on the way. Yeah. That's fantastic. I
think it's finding the balance then is what I'm getting from you as well. And I've never really heard anyone say that before.
And
learn how to say no.
A lot of people don't have that, Stephen. Yeah, a lot of people don't have balance in their lives.
Yeah, I mean, just do what you want.
Yeah.
Right?
When you want to.
when you want to, right? And then, find a business that helps. I mean, I was on the treadmill for years. I had to do it the hard way too. But I mean, I made a decision many years ago that I want to get up when I finish sleeping. And I want a business that allows me to do that. I don't live my life by an alarm clock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it just sounds fantastic. For me, I'm actually a salesman when I'm not playing music or not involved in the music industry, like, you know, so that's why when I was reading about yourself, I was like, right, I need to get some information off this man to find out what he's doing and doing right,
mentoring.
obviously, like, you know, you're mentoring me as we speak.
Absolutely. Well, sales, we say, you know, and I suppose put a bit of light and a bit of joke in it, right? So sales is like trying to kiss a woman. You can't kiss her, she's back in the way, she's got to lean forward, right? So it's the same with sales. When people are trying to sell, usually they're coming from a seller's motivation and they're pushing themselves on the person's backing away.
Yeah.
That's why 80% of sales don't happen. So what are you doing? What value, you've got to think, what value am I bringing here? What problem am I solving? So if you understand the needs of the people that you're dealing with, they're going to lean forward and they're going to want to buy your products or your services. So it's all about service first. This is a great lesson I got from Jim Rohn 20 odd years ago. Always think service first. And if you understand service, then sales are easy.
Yeah, no.
There you go now.
Building the relationship first, yeah, before you pressurize them. Yeah, definitely learned that.
What are your biggest accomplishments, Pat?
Oh, well, my biggest accomplishments in business, one is being able to employ friends of mine, being able to take people from the same background as me and give them employment. That's something I'll always look back on and think I'm extremely proud of. Also is having the likes of Brian Tracy and Mark Victor Hansen, Bob Proctor for Seeker, bringing them to Dublin, bringing them here to be able to share the stage here with people, so people don't have to be spending money traveling. And I'm going to continue to do that. That's something I really love. But I think when I've seen somebody that I've worked with have breakthrough, and I know that I've played a part in that, I always give 100% credit to them because they got to get involved. But I can sit back and know that I've played some part in that, and that to me, that's what feeds my soul. That's what keeps me going.
Absolutely amazing.
Just regarding the seminars and stuff, like, where do people subscribe to get emails from you when you're doing the seminars or something like that? How does that work, or what ways?
Yeah, well, usually people follow me on social media. I don't harass people and bombard people with spam and everything else, right? But usually people follow me on social media, and they stay in touch that way. And then they'll discover I'm quite active on social media, so they'll discover what we do and what seminars are upcoming and so forth, and the different speakers. And again, there are different types of seminars. There are personal development seminars, there are business seminars, sales seminars. Just depends on the needs of people. But what's most important, really, is not about the speaker always. Sometimes the person is most important you meet is in the audience that you get to share an idea with. And maybe sometimes there are partnerships and business partnerships that grow out of that. So surround yourself with the right people. Get yourself in a room of like-minded people. So social media is where you'll find us really for that.
Oh, brilliant. Good to know.
There you go. Tell us about your social media, where we can find you.
Well, if you just Google Pat Slattery, you'll find me, right? So, but primarily, I'm probably most active on Facebook and LinkedIn. Or you can just go to my website, which is patslattery.com, send me a message. Usually, if somebody sends me a message, I send them a gift of knowledge, something that will be of use for them. And that's probably as many emails as you're going to get from me, right? But social media, Facebook, LinkedIn really are probably the best ways to reach out to me.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I would like to add, to end the interview with your own words that you use all the time.
I was
I
going to say the
always
same
think
thing.
about, I always think about you when I hear this. So I was have an outstanding day. I know I will. So where did you get that from? Where did it come from?
I
obviously it's
actually
have an
can't
outstanding
remember,
day.
if I'm honest, but I remember years ago thinking, I had to convince myself originally to have an outstanding day. And outstanding, it's okay. I accept, and I said, I can sit here and say this to you without being egotistical. I accept that I'm absolutely outstanding. And I have nothing to prove to anyone, not even me. So I made a choice that every day I'm going to have an outstanding day. When I say it to people I know I will, I used to add on, unless you have other plans.
Well, myself and Stephen and the crew are going to have an outstanding day, even
Absolutely.
after having you on.
Pat, thanks very much for coming on our show.
Thanks so much, Pat.
Really
It's been
appreciate it.
fantastic.
Stay where you are for a minute.
Yeah.
Thanks very much,
Thank
Pat.
you.
Really appreciate coming on.
Do you know what actually came out of that for me was, Stephen, the fact that we have a leap year next year, so we've an extra 24 hours. What are we going to do?
I learned a lot just from that
Fantastic.
interview. I wish it was
Yeah.
nearly longer to learn
Amazing.
more from him, but it'd be the time management then.
Amazing. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. We had a fantastic show here this evening. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you to the crew, and we'll see you all next week. Thank you so much. Good night.